Hello, and welcome back. It has been quite a while, and my voice is definitely going to sound a little different because this is either allergies or one of the worst flus I've had in a while, because my nose won't stop running, I cannot stop coughing, so that might interrupt us a little bit. However, we're back, and today we're going to read Chapter 9 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Lightning Thief. Chapter 9. I'm offered a quest. The next morning, Chiron moved me to cabin 3. I didn't have to share with anybody. I had plenty of room for all my stuff. The Minotaur's horn, one set of spare clothes, and a toiletry bag. I got to sit at my own dinner table, pick out all of my activities, call lights out whenever I felt like it, and not listen to anybody else. I was miserable. Just when I had started to feel accepted, to feel like I had a home in Cabin 11, and I might be a normal kid. Well, as normal as you can be when you're a half-blood. I'd been separated as if I'd had a rare disease. Nobody mentioned the Hellhound, but I got the feeling they were all talking about it behind my back. The attack had scared everyone. It sent 2 messages. 1, that I was the son of the sea god, and 2, monsters would stop at nothing to kill me. They could even invade camp that had always been considered safe. The other campers steered clear of me as much as possible. Cabin 11 was too nervous to have sword classes with me after what I'd done to the Ares folk in the woods. So my lessons with Luke became one-on-one. He pushed me harder than ever, and wasn't afraid to bruise me up in the process. "No, you're going to need all the training you can get," he promised as we were working with swords and flaming torches. "Now, let's try that viper beheading strike again. 50 more repetitions." Annabeth still taught me Greek in the mornings, but she seemed distracted. Every time I said something, she scowled at me, as if I'd just poked her between the eyes. After lessons, she would walk away muttering to herself, "Quest? Poseidon? Dirty rotten. Gotta make a plan." Even Clarice kept her distance, though her venomous looks made it clear she wanted to kill me for breaking her magic spear. I wish she would just yell, or punch me, or something. I'd rather get into fights every day than be ignored. I knew somebody at camp resented me, because one night, when I came into my cabin, I found a mortal newspaper dropped up inside the doorway. A copy of the New York Daily News, open to the Metro page. The article took me almost an hour to read, because the angrier I got, the more words floated around on the page. "Boy and monsters, mother still missing after freak car accident by Eileen Smithy. Sally Jackson and son Percy are still missing 1 week after their mysterious disappearance. The family's badly burned 78 Camaro was discovered last Saturday on North Long Island Road, with the roof ripped off and the front axle broken. The car had flipped and skidded for several hundred feet before exploding. Mother and son had been gone for a weekend vacation to Montauk, but left hastily under mysterious circumstances. Small traces of blood were found in the car and near the scene of the wreck, but there were no other signs of the missing Jacksons. Residents in the rural area reported seeing nothing unusual around the time of the accident. Mrs. Jackson's husband, Gabe Ugliano, claims that his stepson, Percy Jackson, is a troubled kid who has been kicked out of numerous boarding schools and has expressed violent tendencies in the past. Police would not say whether son Percy is a suspect in his mother's disappearance, but they have not ruled out foul play. Below are recent pictures of Sally Jackson and Percy. Police urge anyone with information to call the following toll-free Crime Stoppers hotline. The phone number was circled in black marker. I wadded up the paper and threw it away, then flopped down onto my bunk bed in the middle of my empty cabin. "Lights out," I told myself miserably. That night, I had my worst dream yet. I was running alongside the beach in a storm. This time, there was a city behind me. Not New York. The sprawl was different. Buildings seemed spread further apart. Palm trees, low hills in the distance. About 100 yards down the surf, 2 men were fighting. They looked like TV wrestlers, muscular with beards and long hair. Both wore flowing Greek tunics, one trimmed in blue, the other in green. They grappled with each other, wrestled and kicked and headbutted, and every time they connected, lightning flashed. The sky grew darker and the wind rose. I had to stop them. I didn't know why, but the harder I ran, the more the wind blew me back, until I was running in place, my heels digging uselessly in the sand. Over the roar of the storm, I could hear the blue-robed one yelling at the green-robed one, "Give it back! Give it back!" Like a kindergartner fighting over a toy. The waves got bigger, crashing into the beach, spraying me with sea salt. I yelled, "Stop it! Stop fighting!" The ground shook. Laughter came from somewhere underneath the earth, and the voice so deep and evil it turned my blood to ice. "Come down, little hero," the voice groaned. "Come down!" The sand split beneath me, opening up a crevice straight down to the center of the earth. My feet slipped and darkness swallowed me. I woke up. Sure, I was falling. I was still in bed in cabin 3. My body told me it was morning, but it was dark outside and thunder rolled across the hills. A storm was brewing. I hadn't dreamed of that. I heard a clopping sound at the door, a hoof knocking on the threshold. "Come in?" Grover trotted inside, looking worried.
"Mr. D wants to see you."
"Why?"
"He wants to kill... I'd better let him tell you."
Nervously, I got dressed and followed, sure that I was in big trouble. For days, I'd been half expecting a summons to the big house, now that I was declared a son of Poseidon, one of the big 3 gods who weren't supposed to have kids. I figured it was a crime for me to just be alive. The other gods had probably been debating the best way to punish me for existing, and now Mr. D was ready to deliver their verdict. Over Long Island Sound, the sky looked like ink soup coming to a boil. A hazy curtain of rain was coming in our direction. I asked Grover if we needed an umbrella.
"No,"
he said.
"It never rains here unless we want it to."
I pointed at the sky. "What the heck is that, then?" He glanced uneasily at the sky.
"It'll pass around us. Bad weather always does."
I realized he was right. In the week I'd been there, it had never even been overcast. The few rain clouds that I had seen skirted right around the edges of the valley. But this one was huge. At the volleyball pit, the kids from Apollo Cabin were playing a morning game against the satyrs. Dionysus's twins were walking around the strawberry fields, making the plants grow. Everyone was going about their normal business. But they looked tense. They kept their eyes on the storm. Grover and I walked up to the porch of the big house. Dionysus sat at the pinochle table with his tiger-striped Hawaiian shirt and Diet Coke, just as he had on his first day. Chiron sat across the table in his fake wheelchair. They were playing with invisible opponents, 2 sets of cards hovering in the air.
"Well, well,"
Mr. D said without looking up.
"Our little celebrity."
I waited.
"Come closer. And don't expect me to kowtow you, mortal, just because old Barnacle Beard is your father."
A set of lightning flashed across the clouds. Thunder shook the windows of the house.
"Blah, blah, blah,"
Dionysus said. Chiron feigned interest in his pinochle cards. Grover cowered by the rail, his hooves clomping back and forth.
"If I had my way,
I would cause your molecules to erupt in flames.
we'd sweep up the ashes and be done with a lot of trouble."
The Chiron seems to feel that this would be against my mission at this cursed camp.
"To keep you little brats safe from harm."
"Spontaneous combustion is a form of harm, Mr. D," Chiron put put in.
Nonsense,
Dionysus said.
well, I wouldn't feel a thing. Nevertheless, I've agreed to restrain myself. I'm thinking of turning you to a dolphin instead, sending you back to your father.
Mr. D, Chiron warned.
Oh, all right.
Dionysus relented.
There's one more option, but it's deadly foolishness.
Dionysus rose, and the invisible players' cards dropped through the table.
I'm off to Olympus for the emergency meeting. If the boy is still here when I get back, I'll turn him into an Atlantic bottlenose. Do you understand? And Perseus Jackson, if you're at all smart, you'll see that's a much more sensible choice than what Chiron feels you must do.
Dionysus picked up a playing card, twisted it, and it became a plastic rectangle. A credit card? No, a security pass. He snapped his fingers. The air seemed to fold and bend around him. He became a hologram, then a wind, then he was gone, leaving only the smell of fresh pressed grapes lingering behind. Chiron smiled at me, but he looked tired and strained. Sit, Percy, please. And Grover. We did. Chiron laid his cards on the table, a winning hand he hadn't gotten to use. Tell me, Percy, he said. What did you make of the Hellhound? Just hearing the name made me shudder. Chiron probably expected me to say, Heck, it was nothing. I ate hellhounds for breakfast. But I didn't feel like lying. It scared me, I said. If you hadn't shot it, I'd be dead. You'll meet worse, Percy. Far worse before you're done. Done with what? Your quest, of course. Will you accept it? I glanced at Grover, who was crossing his fingers. Sir, I said, you haven't told me what it is yet. Chiron grimaced. Well, that's the hard part. The details. Thunder rumbled across the valley. The storm clouds had now reached the edge of the beach. As far as I could see, the sky and the sea were boiling each other, together. Poseidon and Zeus, I said. They're fighting over something valuable. Something that was stolen, aren't they? Chiron and Grover exchanged looks. Chiron sat forward in his wheelchair. How did you know that? My face felt hot. I wish I hadn't opened my big mouth. The weather since Christmas has been weird. Like, the sea and the sky are fighting. When I talked to Annabeth, Then I talked to Annabeth, and she'd overheard something about a theft, and I've also been having these dreams.
I knew it,
Grover said. Hush, satyr, Chiron ordered.
But it is his quest.
Grover's eyes were bright with excitement.
It must be.
Only the oracle can determine, Chiron stroked his bristly beard. Nevertheless, Percy, you are correct. Your father and Zeus are having their worst quarrel in centuries. They're fighting over something valuable that was stolen. To be precise, a lightning bolt. I laughed nervously. A what? Do not take this lightly, Chiron warned. I'm not talking about some tinfoil-covered zigzag you'd see in a second-grade play. How did I get this far without coughing? I'm talking about a 2-foot-long cylinder of high-grade celestial bronze, capped on both ends with god-level explosives. Oh. Zeus's master bolts, Chiron said, getting worked up now. The symbol of his power, from which all other lightning bolts are patterned. The first weapon made by the Cyclopses for the war against the Titans. The bolt that sheared the top of Mount Etna and hurled Kronos from his throne. The master bolt, which packs enough power to make mortal hydrogen bombs look like firecrackers. And it's missing? Stolen, Chiron said. By who? By whom? Chiron corrected. Once a teacher, always a teacher. by you. My mouth fell open. At least, Chiron held up a hand, that's what Zeus thinks. During the winter solstice, at the last council of the gods, Zeus and Poseidon had an argument. The usual nonsense. Mother Rhea always liked you best. Air disasters are more spectacular than sea disasters, etc. Afterward, Zeus realized his master bolt was missing, taken from the throne room right under his very nose. He immediately blamed Poseidon. Now, a god cannot usurp another god's symbol of power directly. That is forbidden by the most ancient of divine laws. But Zeus believes your father convinced a human hero to take it. But I didn't. Patience and listen, child, Chiron said. Zeus has a good reason to be suspicious. The forges of the Cyclopses are under the ocean, which gives Poseidon some influence over the makers of his brother's lightning. Zeus believes Poseidon has taken the Master Bolt and is now secretly having the Cyclopses build an arsenal of illegal copies, which might be used to topple Zeus from his throne. The only thing Zeus wasn't sure about was which hero Poseidon used to steal the bolt. Now Poseidon has openly claimed you as his son. You were in New York over the winter holidays. You could easily have snuck into Olympus. Zeus believes he has found his thief. But I've never been to Olympus. Zeus is crazy. Chiron and Grover glanced nervously at the sky. The clouds didn't seem to be parting around us, as Grover had promised. They were rolling straight over our valley, sealing us in like a coffin lid.
Percy? Grover said. We don't use the C word to describe the Lord of the Skies.
Perhaps paranoid, Chiron suggested. Then again, Poseidon has tried to unseat Zeus before. I believe that was question 38 on your final exam. He looked at me as if he actually expected me to remember question 38. We're going to stop right there because my storage is running out and I'm going to have to make this a two-parter. In any case, I hope you enjoyed so far. Please leave a like, comment to let me know what you want me to do different. And as always, have a good day.